Hello everyone, and welcome to my Lazy DK solo full horrific vision guide. I'll be starting things off with the Ogrimmar one for now and release a separate video for Stormwind. This guide is intended for those of you looking to get their first 5 chests clear, or perhaps maximizing memento gains for minimal effort on alts or so. I'll also be sprinkling a few DK specific tips throughout the video. The only recommended requirement to make this as smooth as possible is the Research Elite Extermination. This pretty much allowed me to go about the whole thing without much worry. Also, rank 5 or higher cloak and 44 plus item level is gonna go a long way. Before we head in, there are 2 weak auras I'd actually recommend. Number 1 is the Sanity Tracker, which tells you the exact time you have left until it gets drained. And the second one is for those of you who have the gift of the Titan's Research unlocked, so you can easily track it once it does proc. For consumables, I highly recommend having health pots and drums for Thrall, and I personally use normal food buff and a main staff flask while doing multiple runs in a day. If you're really struggling with sanity, you could also get some kebabs. There are also a bunch of ways of actually getting extra help while you are inside the actual vision. For instance, with Ogrimmar, there are 4 possible buffs to get from killing actual named creatures, with 2 of them spawning each run giving you 10% health, damage, haste, or crit. On top of that, you can also make use of different colored potions to get sanity and more. You can find links to all of this below, including a weak aura cheat sheet for the potions, so you can actually see which ones are useful without having to think too much about it. To start things off, I pull the right side, including honor guards, till the next area's gate. Remember to always experiment with pull sizes based off of your own gear and class, starting slow if needed. This is just more of a guideline as to how I went about it. The biggest danger here are the void-bound honor guards, since they cast Horrifying Shout. You can, of course, interrupt, crowd control them, or even pre-AMS as a DK, but it still poses a great threat. The first mini-boss here is mostly annoying due to the Dark Force pushback, so saving something like your mobility or looking to actually avoid it with Death's Advance would be ideal. I like pulling all of the packs here since the biggest danger comes from the tier Dominator's Touch of the Abyss cast, which stuns you, and to be fair, as an Unholy Death Knight, you have a lot of ways of dealing with this. You can pre-AMS, interrupt, grip them, IBF, or even your pet stun actually works since it's a channeled cast, and if you interrupt it, the stun is actually over. On the boss here, I pop all of the cooldowns including army since it will be back up for Thrall, and I like to carry them over to the first Lost Areas mini boss to get some more value out of them. You can lose a bunch of sanity if the Cries of the Voidcast goes through, so you might want to delay some cooldowns if you can't DPS it down. In this particular case, the run was pretty sloppy, but you get the point. The biggest obstacle up to Rexar here are actually the small boys, the Akir Swarmers and Akir Swarm Leaders. They apply a poison debuff which stuns you for 3 seconds once it reaches 5 stacks. Your usual defensive options work here, but be careful with pulling too many. I'd focus them down before the actual big mobs. By the time I reach Rexar, I have my cooldowns already again and just burst him down, but if you're having problems dealing with him, I suggest killing the boars as they spawn. Same thing with the left side here, pull till the next zone. Be mindful of the slow-moving, crawling corruption though, or you'll be stuck in combat like I was here. In this part, I'd pull around 2 totem groups at the same time, but as you can see, eventually I got kinda greedy and almost procced my passive. Back when I recorded the run, this was also where I would have to use a restoration orb. Here, honestly, you can use your cooldowns on the big pull or the boss. It depends on your own preference. I went for using them on the boss, since I can actually also avoid the hopelessness mechanic as a Death Knight using AMS, so I could just burst him down quickly. In the final lost area, I'd go about playing the first 3 faceless shadow colors together, then proceed towards pulling left or right side. Here we have 3 dominators, so be careful about getting stunned. Kinda forgot to kill the first faceless here, so I was still stuck in combat. The boss can be frustrating for melee here, so using cooldowns would be good if you're not short on sanity and need to kind of keep them up to kill Thrall. You gotta make sure you avoid the frontal here. Also, you have to really avoid the Ring of Chaos, so setting him more towards the inside of his hitbox is how you can actually do that. While waiting for cooldowns, you can maximize the amount of mementos you get here by picking up any missed chests or killing some leftover mobs. There's also these 10 crystals you can find and turn in for up to 425 mementos. I'll post a link down below as to how you can find them. Around 40% sanity should be more than enough to engage Thrall with. But this is where you make use of all the cooldowns, drums, even combat potions if needed, but don't forget about previous boss mechanics. Stay away from his frontal, avoid hopelessness with AMS, and you should be good to go. Don't forget to kill the boars first though, if you're lacking in terms of DPS. As you can see, even with a sloppy chill run, I had a lot of time left. I'll be doing a video on Stormwind, or even 5 mask runs if people are interested, so make sure to subscribe to not miss out on future uploads. At the time of this recording, I was running my basic Mythic Plus build I had available for my character in terms of essences, talents, and all of that. Always remember you can use Totems to respec during the run if you ever really need that extra little bit of focus on single target DPS or AoE. Thanks for watching, see you next time.